You don't need $10,000 to become an investor. You need $10 and the right strategy. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to start investing with almost nothing, and why waiting until you have more money is the biggest mistake you can make. Hey everyone, welcome back. Look, I hear this excuse every single day: I'll start investing once I have more money, and I get it. But here's the truth nobody tells you. The people who build wealth aren't the ones who start with the most money. They're the ones who start the earliest, even if that means starting with just $5 or $10 a week. In this video, I'm breaking down exactly how to start investing with little money. No jargon, no fluff, just a real, practical roadmap you can use starting today. By the end of this, you'll know exactly where to put your first dollar, which apps actually work for beginners, and how to grow a small amount into something real over time. Let's get into it. Listen, the biggest difference between where you are now and where you want to be financially isn't luck. It's action. So take what you learned today and put just $1 to work this week. That's it. That's the whole first step. And if you're serious about building real wealth from nothing, hit subscribe, because every week I'm breaking down exactly how everyday people grow their money, step by step, no fluff. Your future self is going to thank you for starting today. Let's talk about the biggest lie you've probably told yourself about investing. And I want you to really sit with this one, because it's the thing holding back almost everyone who's never started. The lie is this: I'll start investing once I have more money. Who sounds reasonable, right? It feels responsible even. But here's the problem: that mindset isn't protecting you, it's costing you. Because investing was never really about the amount, it was always about the habit. And habits don't need permission to start big, they just need to start. Let me give you a real example. Imagine two people, we'll call them Sarah and Mike. Sarah starts investing $50 a month at age 25. Mike waits until he has enough. So he doesn't start until he's 35, but then he throws in $100 a month, double what Sarah's doing. Who do you think ends up with more money by retirement? It's Sarah. Every single time, not because she invested more, she actually invested less overall, but because she gave her money more time to grow. That's the power of compounding, and it rewards early action, not big action. This is why mindset comes before strategy. Before we even talk about apps or stocks or index funds, you have to rewire this one belief: small money, started now, beats big money, started later. Here's another way to think about it. Investing $50 a month probably feels almost pointless right now, right? What's $50 really going to do? But that's your brain playing tricks on you, because you're judging it based on today's value, not tomorrow's growth. $50 a month, invested consistently over 20 years with average market returns, can grow into tens of thousands of dollars. Not because $50 is magic, but because time and consistency do the heavy lifting for you. And honestly, this mindset shift isn't just about money, it's about identity. The moment you invest your first $10 or $20, something changes in how you see yourself. You're not someone who wants to invest someday. You're an investor, right now, today. And that identity shift matters more than people realize, because once you see yourself as an investor, you naturally start making other small decisions that support that identity. Skipping an unnecessary purchase, automating a transfer, checking in on your progress. So before we get into the how, the apps, the fractional shares, the strategies, I need you to let go of the idea that you're not ready or don't have enough. You don't need a lot. You need consistency. You need to start where you are with what you have right now. Because the truth is, the market doesn't care if you start with $5 or $5,000. It only cares that you started, and that you stayed in the game long enough to let growth do its work. Now that your mindset is in the right place, let's talk about the how. Because I know a lot of you are thinking, okay, I'm convinced, but where do I actually put my money if all I have is $10 or $20? This is where micro investing apps come in. And honestly, this is the part that would have blown my mind if someone explained it to me when I was starting out. Because not that long ago, investing meant calling up a broker, having a few $1,000s minimum, and filling out a mountain of paperwork. That world is basically gone. Today, you can open an app on your phone, invest $1, and be an investor in less time than it takes to order coffee. Here's how it actually works in practice. A lot of these apps let you start with as little as $1. No joke, $1. You link your bank account, you pick an investment, and you're in. But the feature I really want you to pay attention to is round-up investing. Here's how it works. Let's say you buy a coffee for $4.30. The app rounds that purchase up to $5 and invests the 70 cents difference automatically. You don't feel it, you don't miss it. But over a month, those little round ups can add up to $20, $30, even $50, invested without you lifting a finger. Think about that for a second. You're literally investing spare change from your everyday life. Buying groceries, filling up gas, grabbing lunch, and turning those normal purchases into building blocks for your future. That's the psychology that makes this so powerful. It removes the biggest barrier most beginners face, which isn't actually money. It's friction. It's the mental effort of, I have to sit down, transfer money, decide what to buy. Micro-investing apps strip all of that away. Now, I want to be real with you about something. These apps aren't going to make you rich overnight, and anyone who tells you that is selling you something. What they do is get you in the game. They build the habit. They make investing feel normal instead of intimidating. And that habit is worth more than people realize, because the person who invests 70 cents a day today is far more likely to be investing $70 a day 5 years from now. You're training a muscle. Here's a practical tip when you're picking one of these apps. Look for low or no account minimums, low fees. Because fees can quietly eat into small accounts faster than you'd think, and make sure they offer diversified options, not just single stocks. We'll get into why that matters in the next point. But for now, here's your action step. Today, not next week, today. Download one of these apps, link a card, and make your first investment. It can be $1. I don't care how small it is, because the goal right now isn't to build wealth in a day. It's to prove to yourself that investing isn't as scary, complicated, or out of reach as you always thought it was. Alright, so now you've got the app on your phone, you've made that first small investment. But I want to address something a lot of beginners get stuck on, and it's this idea that owning stock in a big company is somehow not for them. You've probably heard names like Amazon or Apple or Google and thought, sure, I'd love to own a piece of that company. But a single share costs hundreds of dollars, sometimes even over $1,000. There's no way I can afford that. And for the longest time, you'd have been right. That used to be exactly how it worked. If a share cost $800, you needed $800, full stop. But here's the game changer. And I really want this one to click for you: fractional shares. This is one of the most underrated tools for beginner investors, and barely anyone talks about it enough. Here's what it means in plain English. Instead of buying one whole share of a company, you're buying a slice of it, a fraction. So if a share of a company costs $1,000, and you only have $5 to invest, you can buy exactly that, $5 worth. That's 0.5% of a share, technically, but it's real. You actually own a piece of that company, and if the stock goes up, your $5 grows right along with it, proportionally. Let me give you a picture of why this matters so much. Imagine you believe in a company. Maybe it's an innovative tech company or a brand you personally love and trust. Before fractional shares, that belief meant nothing to you as an investor unless you had serious cash. Now, you can put $10 behind that belief today. Add another $10 next month, and slowly build real ownership in a company you actually understand and care about. That emotional connection, by the way, makes people far more likely to stay consistent, because investing in something you understand and believe in just feels less abstract than investing in some random ticker symbol. This also solves a huge psychological barrier for beginners, the feeling of being locked out of serious investing. When you realize you can own a piece of major companies with the same $10 or $20 you'd spend on takeout, investing stops feeling like a rich person's game and starts feeling like something that's actually built for you. Practically speaking, here's how to use this. Most of the beginner-friendly investing apps we talked about in the last point already support fractional shares built right in. So when you're choosing what to invest in, don't let a high share price scare you off from a company you believe in. You don't need the full price. You need a few dollars and the decision to start. And that's really the theme running through everything so far. Small amounts, real ownership, consistent action. Fractional shares just remove one more excuse standing between you and actually building wealth. Now here's where I want to save you from a mistake that trips up almost every beginner. And it's this idea that to be a real investor, you need to be picking individual stocks like some kind of Wall Street genius, staring at charts, trying to guess which company is going to be the next big winner. Here's the truth: that approach is stressful, It's time-consuming, and honestly, even professional fund managers who do this for a living struggle to consistently beat the market by picking individual stocks. So if the professionals can't reliably win at that game, why would we expect ourselves to, especially when we're just starting out with small amounts of money? This is exactly why I want you to get familiar with two words that are going to become your best friends on this journey: index funds and ETFs. Let me break this down in the simplest way possible. Imagine instead of trying to pick the one winning company out of thousands, you could just buy a small slice of hundreds of companies all at once in a single purchase. That's essentially what an index fund or an ETF does. Some of the most popular ones track something like the top 500 companies in the country. So when you invest in one of these, you're not betting on Amazon or Apple or one single business succeeding or failing. You're betting on the overall growth of the economy as a whole. Think about why that matters so much, especially for someone starting with little money. If you put your $20 into one single stock, and that company has a bad year, gets bad press, or faces a scandal, your $20 takes the full hit. But if that same $20 is spread across 500 different companies through an index fund, one company having a bad year barely makes a dent because it's being balanced out by hundreds of other companies doing fine or even thriving. This is called diversification, and honestly, it's less about a fancy financial strategy and more about basic psychology and risk management. It's the difference between putting all your eggs in one basket versus spreading them out so one bad drop doesn't ruin everything. Here's a practical way to think about it. Historically, broad market index funds have averaged strong long-term returns over decades, despite short-term ups and downs along the way. Notice I said long-term. This isn't a get-rich-quick tool. It's a steady, reliable engine for building wealth slowly and predictably, which is exactly what beginners need, especially when starting with small, consistent contributions. And here's the beautiful part for anyone starting with little money. Most of the beginner investing apps we've already talked about make index funds and ETFs incredibly easy to access, often with no extra effort required beyond selecting them. So here's your takeaway. You don't need to become a stock-picking expert. You don't need to watch financial news every day trying to guess the next big winner. You just need to consistently put your money into these diversified funds, let time do its job, and trust the process instead of chasing shortcuts. Okay, so let's talk about the single biggest reason most people fail at investing. And it has nothing to do with picking the wrong stocks or timing the market wrong. It's simply this: they forget. Or they get busy. Or life happens and that, "I'll invest this month," turns into 3 months of silence. I want to be honest with you. I've seen this pattern over and over. Someone gets excited, they invest $20, they feel proud of themselves, and then 2 months later, they haven't added a single dollar since. Not because they changed their mind, but because they simply didn't make it automatic. And relying on willpower and memory to build long-term wealth is, frankly, a losing strategy for almost everyone. This is why automation is one of the most underrated tools in your entire investing journey. Here's the idea in plain terms: you set up your investing app or brokerage to automatically pull a small amount of money from your bank account on a schedule, say every payday or the first of every month, and invest it for you. No decision-making required, no remembering, no willpower involved at all. Let me give you an example of why this matters so much psychologically. Think about a gym membership. The people who stay consistent aren't usually the ones relying purely on motivation every single day. Because motivation comes and goes, that's just human nature. The people who stay consistent are the ones who've built a system, a routine that happens whether they feel motivated or not. Investing works exactly the same way. When you automate it, you're removing emotion and mood from the equation entirely. The market could be up, the market could be down, you could be having a great week or a stressful one. It simply does not matter, because your investment happens automatically in the background either way. And here's something really important I want you to understand. Automating small amounts also protects you from one of the biggest investing mistakes beginners make, which is trying to time when to invest. People convince themselves they're waiting for the perfect moment, some ideal dip in the market, before putting money in. But here's the truth. Nobody, and I mean nobody, can consistently predict that perfect moment, not even professionals. Automating your investments takes that guessing game completely off the table, because you're investing on a schedule, not based on a prediction. Practically speaking, here's how to apply this today. Go into whichever app you've chosen and set up a recurring transfer. Even if it's just $10 or $20 every week or every payday. Treat it like a bill you're paying to your future self. That mindset shift matters, because when you treat investing like a fixed expense instead of an optional leftover, you're far more likely to stick with it long term. So here's your action step: don't just invest once and hope you remember to do it again. Automate it now, today, while you're feeling motivated watching this. Because future you, the one juggling a busy schedule and 100 other things, is going to present you for building this system before life got in the way. Alright, we've made it to the final piece of the puzzle, and honestly, this might be the most important one, because this is where wealth actually gets built. Not in the exciting first investment, but in what you do or don't do after that. Let's start with something most beginners don't fully understand: dividend reinvestment. When you own shares in a company or a fund, sometimes that company pays out a small portion of its profits back to shareholders. That's called a dividend. Now here's the choice you get to make. You can take that dividend as cash, sitting in your account, doing nothing. Or you can turn on automatic reinvestment, which takes that money and immediately buys you more shares with it. Think about why this matters so much. Let's say you own shares that pay you a small dividend of $2. If you let that just sit there, it's $2. But if it's automatically reinvested, that $2 buys you a little more ownership. Which means next time dividends are paid, you're earning a dividend on that new piece too. This is compounding in action, and it's one of the quietest, most powerful wealth-building tools that most beginners completely ignore, because $2 here and there doesn't feel exciting. But stretched out over 10 or 20 years, this snowball effect is genuinely one of the biggest drivers of long-term growth. Now here's the second half of this final point, and it ties everything we've talked about together. Consistency beats intensity every single time. I want you to picture two different approaches. In one scenario, someone invests $200 in one lump sum, feels great about it, and then doesn't touch their account again for 8 months. In the other scenario, someone invests $25 every single month, like clockwork, for that same 8 months. Even though the second person technically invested the same total amount, they come out ahead almost every time, because they're buying in at different price points along the way, they're building the habit, and they're staying engaged with their money instead of checking out. This is the part where I need to be straight with you: investing consistently isn't glamorous. There's no dramatic moment, no big reveal. It's $20 this week, $20 next week, month after month, sometimes for years, before you look up and realize your account has genuinely transformed. That's exactly why so many people quit too early. They're expecting fireworks, and what they actually get is quiet, steady growth that only becomes obvious with time and patience. So here's your final action step, and I want you to actually do this, not just nod along. Go into your investing app right now, turn on automatic dividend reinvestment if it's available, and commit to your monthly amount, no matter how small. Not because it'll feel exciting tomorrow, but because 5 years from now, the version of you who started today stayed consistent and let time do the work is going to be in a completely different financial position than the version who kept waiting for the right moment. That's how you actually build wealth from little money. Not with one big move, but with small, steady ones you stick with. Listen, you don't need permission to start. You don't need the perfect app, the perfect amount, or the perfect moment. You just need to make one move today. $1, one decision, one step in the right direction. That's how every wealthy investor started. Small, scared, and consistent anyway. So go be that person. Your future is literally waiting on you to hit play. Let's go build it.